Hello everyone. Today I'm making the other movie in order to continue explanation chapter 3. Previous video I stopped by this slide, and this slide I also explained, or I also made the explanation presented already. So this movie should be from this slide. Okay, this slide market elasticity and total revenue. So when we're talking about total revenue, we refer to demand side or buyer side in the market, because buyers spend their money to buy goods, buy services in the market for their consumption. That's why when they want to buy goods, they buy services for their consumption, demander or buyer must spend. That's why when we're talking about total revenue, total expenditure, we refer to demand side. When the prices of goods and services increase, when the price of goods or services increase, the total expenditures can increase. Total expenditure can increase, decrease, or remain the same. No change. Okay, so when the price become more expensive, price of goods or services become more expensive, the total expenditure that's spent by buyers or demanders in the market could be increasing, decreasing, or be the same as before. The change in total expenditure depends on price elasticity of demand. Okay, the change in expenditure for good X, it depends on price elasticity demand for good X. That's why the change delta TE because of delta epsilon. Total amount of money that consumers spend on products or on services each day must equal to total amount of money that sellers, supplier of that product received. Okay, so in the market there are two sides: buyer or demander side, seller or supplier side. So each time of selling or buying, total amount of money spent by buyers must be equal to total amount received by seller or supplier, and also equal to market value of this product or these services that buyers spend to buy or seller sell. Okay, so for example, I can say that in the market there is only one unit of pizza, one slice of pizza. Yes, easy. Only one slice pizza available in the market. So Mr. A, as a buyer, Mr. A will spend, let's say, price of pizza $2 per slice. That's why Mr. A, in order to buy pizza to eat, Mr. A spent $2. The pizza seller will receive $2 from Mr. A. But reason why Mr. A must spend $2 to buy one slice pizza, because he buy one unit and the price is $2 per unit. That's why he must spend $2. If Mr. A as a buyer spend $2, sellers must receive $2. But why $2? Because the the slice of pizza, total one slice of pizza is market value $2. Okay, so total amount of money spent by consumer depends on spent on product or services must equal to total amount of money received by sellers or suppliers of those products or services. Okay, the other this graph, in terms of graph, total expenditures that spent by buyers, that spent by demanders in the market for one product must be area of rectangle. So what does it mean, rectangle? This is rectangle area with the height P and the width Q. That's why rectangle. How to find rectangle area? That means we got 2 multiplied by Q. Oh, sorry, 2 multiplied by 4. That's why it's 8 here. Okay, total amount spending is $8 or 800 or 8,000. It depends on the unit of quantity, or it depends on the need of price. If price $2, they buy 8 units, only $8. If price 20, they buy 400. That's why it could be 8,000. So it depends on unit of price and depends on unit of quantity. But in this case, we just see $2 and 4 units. That's why total expenditures by demand side or buyer side in this market is only 8. Okay, the other example is about movie ticket. So I have two graph. If the movie ticket price increases from $2 to $4, point A and B, point A price $2, point B price $4. Okay, if the movie ticket increases from $2 to $4 from A to B, but based on these two graphs, point A and point B in this figure are both below the midpoint of the curve. Okay, how can we find the midpoint of the curve? This is the highest price, because this is price, right? This is price, this is quantity. So the highest price is $12. So the mid price should be middle price should be $6. Could be $6. Okay, I can say $6 is midpoint price. So you can say $2 is still lower than 6. $4 is still lower than 6. $2, the picture is the consumption is A point. $4, the consumption is B point. A and B consumption points still lower than midpoint price. Inelastic portion of demand curve. So in this case, still lower than midpoint price. This area consumption is inelastic demand. Inelastic demand, when we're talking about absolute sign, or well, absolute is less than 1. Okay, this is inelastic. So this spending is lower than average spending. What does it mean, average spending? Average spending based on average price. This is the average price, because this is a higher price. 0 is lowest price. That's why 6 is a middle price. Average price or middle price. Okay, that's why point A is still lower than average. $2 still lower than 6. Point B still lower than average, because $4 still lower than 6. So this area, when the price change, when the price change, the demand change. Okay, the demand change, but change by less. change slowly. It means inelastic. Okay, inelastic. Total revenue increases when the price go up. That's why we're talking about total revenue. We're talking about seller side, supplier side. So when total revenue increase, total expenditure also increase as well. Okay, because previous slide we look at that total expenditure of demand side equal to total revenue of supply side. So when the price go up, for example, from $2 to $4, the total revenue received by seller also going up. From how much? Based on this one, from $1,000 per day to $1,600 per day. So 1,000 smaller than 1,600. That's why when the price goes up from $2 to $4, total revenue received by seller also higher. If total revenue received by seller higher, total expenditure also more than before. Okay, so in this case, this is inelastic demand. In this area is inelastic demand. So when the price goes up, total expenditure also going up. If total expenditure going up, total revenue also going up. However, the other side, if the movie ticket price increase from $8 to $10, okay, increase from $8 to $10, $8 here, $10 here. Prices are both above midpoint price. Yes, this is zero price. This is highest price 12, higher price. That's why midpoint price is should be $6. That's why midpoint price should be $6. So egg at point Y consumption, egg higher than $6 midpoint price. Z higher consumption at 10, also higher than midpoint price. This is elastic demand area. This is elastic demand area. Elastic demand area, it means that when talking about absolute value, absolute bigger than 1. Okay. So when the demand is in the elastic side or elastic area, when the price go up, when the price of goods and services go up, total revenue go down. Total revenue go down. It's different from previous slide. This slide, when the price of product or services go up, total revenue go down. When total revenue go down, total expenditure also going down. So okay, look at this one. When the price $8, all buyer will buy 200. You buy 200 per day, 200 tickets per day. That's why all of the 200 tickets per day spent by all buyers is $1,600 per day. But if the price increase from $8 to $10, so all buyers decrease their buying from $200 per day to $100 per day. That's why $100 per day, they all together they spend only $1,000 per day. Okay, so in this case, if the price change above or change more expensive than average price, total revenue and total expenditures must go down when the price go up. Okay, if the price change but those price change higher than midpoint price, total revenue and total expenditure go down when the price go up. when the price change, but those price change below the average price or midpoint price, total revenue and total expenditure will go up when the price go up. Okay, so this is the points that you need to remember. This is the point that you need to remember. So in this case, when the price change but change lower still, they change but still change lower than average price. When the price of product go up, total expenditure and total revenue also going up. Okay, so in this case, this area is inelastic demand. However, when the price change, but those price change higher than average price, okay, higher than average price. When the price going up, the total expenditure and total revenue go down. This area, that area we call elastic demand. Elastic demand. Okay. So this is a graph that represents the price change and total expenditure per day for buying movie ticket. When the price is zero, normally they will, yes, when the price is low, you cannot buy because no supplier. But when the price 2, supplier coming, total expenditure 1,000. When the price 4, price increasing, expenditure also increasing, total revenue also increasing. When the price change again but still lower than midpoint price, total price change go up, total expenditure, total revenue going up. At midpoint price, when the price change, total expenditure, total revenue is still constant, the same at midpoint price. But higher than midpoint price, when the price still continue going up, total expenditure, total revenue will go down, That's why when we convert this table into graph, this is a expenditure, total expenditure graph. So go up at the midpoint price. Midpoint price is maximum total expenditure or maximum total revenue. So if at the midpoint price is price continue to going up, total expenditure or total revenue go down. Okay. So this is a table that show the relationship between price, the change in price and the change in total revenue or total expenditure, and this is a graph. When the price elastic demand is greater than 1, that means elastic, the change in price and the change in total expenditures always move opposite direction. Okay. When the price elasticity demand is elastic area, inelastic area, so the change in price and the change in total expenditure will go to opposite. What does it mean? If the change in price go up, make the change in total expenditure go down. Elastic. We are elastic if the price higher than midpoint price around this area. That's why you can see absolute loud is bigger than 1. So around this area, when the price change by going up, so the change in total expenditure go down, and the same thing as the change in total revenue also go down because they are the same here. Okay. The other case, when the price elastic demand is less than 1, that means inelastic, that area. Inelastic together with the price change but change lower than midpoint price. This change lower than midpoint price. So in this case, change lower than midpoint price, that means inelastic. The change in price, for example, change by going up, the change in price and the change in total expenditure move the same direction. Okay, expenditure or revenue move the same direction. So I can say that this is midpoint price. This is area that cheaper price. This is area that more expensive price. This is cheaper price. This is more expensive price. So normally I can say that for the product that cheaper price, when the price go up, total expenditure go up, total revenue also going up, because move the same direction. For product that expensive price, for expensive products, when the price go up, total expenditure go down, total revenue also go down, because opposite direction. Okay, so you need to remember for that one. Okay, you need to remember for that one. So when you find that epsilon is greater than 1, elastic, when the price go up, so what happened to your spending, total spending? What happened to total spending? Go up or go down? Go up or go down? Opposite direction, go down. Okay, opposite direction, go down. But when your when your price elasticity or demand is inelastic, this area, so when the price of product go up, what happened to your total expenditure? Also going up. Okay, so this is, you need to remember that one, this condition. This is higher price, this is zero price, this is middle price. Any price that change, but those price change higher than middle price, this price change make price elasticity become more elastic or elastic. Any price change, but those price change below midpoint price, this area make the price elasticity of demand become inelastic. So when the price elasticity of demand elastic, what happened to your expenditure? When the price elasticity of demand inelastic, what happened to your expenditure when the price change? Okay, so you need to remember that one. Okay, this is a summarize. This is a summarize. If demand elastic, if demand inelastic, increase in price will increase or reduction in price when the price drop down, when the price go up. Okay, if your demand elastic, a price increase will reduce or will drop down or will decrease your total expenditure. Okay, so if your demand become elastic, you can see when the price increase a little bit, your consumption drop down too much. Your consumption drop down too much. That's why total expenditure got influence from Q effect. Your expenditure influence from Q effect, not price effect. Price going a little bit, but your drop down consumption too much. So your total spending also drop down too much. The other side, price reduced, cheaper. If your demand is elastic, when the price cheaper a little bit, you tend to buy more product. You buy more quantity, you buy more amount. That's why as a result, your spending tend to be more amount spending. Okay, so if the demand become elastic, total spending got influence from Q side. The total spending got influence from Q side. However, the other condition, if the demand become inelastic, increase too much of price, the consumption drop down a little bit. the price increased too much, the consumption dropped down a little bit. As a result, total expenditure got effect from the price. The total expenditure got influence from price. Okay, influence from the price. Same thing when the price dropped down too much. So buyers will increase their consumption a little bit, not too much, a little bit. As a result, you can see this one. Total expenditure dropped down. So total expenditure dropped down. Total expenditure got effect from price. Okay. So in sum up, if your demand for one good become elastic, your total expenditure got affection from Q. But if your demand for one good become inelastic, your total expenditure got effect from P. Okay. So this is clear. Look at this one. You can be clear. You can give example if you don't believe this one. Okay, give example. If you can give example to me, yes, I'm waiting to hear your example, whether your example is correct or not. Okay, whether you can get this one or not. You can give example by raising your behavior or consumer and other consumers. But when you give example, you need to know what? You need to know the highest price that buyer wish to buy. And normally zero price, everyone know. But you need to know the highest price that buyer wish to buy. Wish to buy, it doesn't mean that they pay that amount. They pay lower than what they wish. Okay? So you can give example unless you know the highest price that buyer wish to buy. Otherwise, you cannot give example. Okay, the other theory is about gross price. What does mean gross price? It's like a relationship. Okay, when talking about gross, if you want to say something gross, unless you have two. For example, you have one line, you have two lines. This is gross price. Or you have three lines, gross price. Or you have four lines. Okay, gross price. Gross only 1 point. That's why many lines cross only 1 point. This is a gross price. This is a cross point, crossing point. But in this case, gross price. Gross price is relationship. Gross price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand for a typical product is not only with respect to its own price. What does it mean? It means that the change of quantity demanded for good X is not only affected by the change of price X, but also the change of price Y. Okay, so if price exchange make quantity demanded for good exchange, this is we call price elasticity of demand for good X. But the quantities demand for good exchange not because of price X but because of price Y. Price Y or price A or price B or price Z, price M, price N. This we call gross price elasticity of demand. Okay? Gross price elasticity of demand. So price elasticity of demand for typical good is not only with respect to its own price, but also with respect to the price of the other products. The price of the other product we call gross price elasticity of demand. Not only price of the other product, but also depends on buyers or consumer income. If we're talking buyer or consumer income, we refer to income elasticity of demand. Okay, this is the other point. So now we go to the price elasticity of demand for typical product. It's not only with respect to only its own price, but also the other price of the other product. Okay, so look at this one that we call gross price elasticity of demand. Gross price elasticity demand is the percentage change by which quantity demanded for the first product, percentage change quantity demanded by a first product, for example X, to respond to 1% change of price Y. Okay, 1% change of price Y. It means that when the price Y change by 1%, how many percentage change for demand of good X? Okay, that's why you see cross price relationship, product Y and product X. Okay, so I can say that this is about definition, but in terms of calculation I can say that cross price elasticity of demand equal to percentage change quantity demanded for the first good, the first product. I can say the X divided by percentage change price of the other product Y. Okay, so when we're talking about cross price elasticity demand, we always, just when talking about elasticity, we always take percentage change of Q over percentage change of P. But in terms of cross price, must have two goods or two services, good X, good Y. Okay, cross price elasticity of demand will be negative, sign negative, or positive. It depends on X and Y, or it depends on the natures of X and Y. Cross price elasticity of demand for X and Y or two goods is positive. If these two goods are substitute goods. You know what does it mean, substitute goods? I also explained, I also described what goods can be substituted each other. However, this is substitute goods, positive. However, it is negative. It is negative if these two goods are complement goods. So I can say this is complement. Okay, substitute cross price elasticity of demand become positive. Complement goods, cross price elasticity demand become negative sign. Okay, so remember that one. Under what condition that cross price elasticity demand become positive sign? Under what condition that cross price elasticity of demand become negative sign? Okay. However, we also have the other one. We call income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand is a percentage change quantity demanded for good X, for example, respond to each 1% change in income. Okay, that means when the income of buyer change by 1%, how many percentage that this buyer change their consumption for good X? That's why this is called income. But in formula, it should be like this one. Percentage change in Q, good X, divided by percentage change in income. Okay, the change in income. Income elasticity of demand is percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income. Yeah, this one. Income elasticity of demand can be negative, can be negative sign, can be positive sign. Okay, can be negative sign or positive sign. Income elasticity of demand positive sign for normal goods. What does it mean, normal goods? From previous chapter. Normal goods refer to all goods that consumption increase when the income increase. Okay, it means consumption increase when income increase, that's why positive. Or consumption decrease when income decrease, that's why positive. Income elasticity of demand will be negative for inferior goods. What does it mean, inferior goods? Inferior goods, it means that consumption go up when the demand, income go down. So people will buy more, buyers will buy more when they have less income. However, people will buy less when they have more income. This is inferior goods. Okay, so negative. So this is called income elasticity of demand. It means that the quantity demanded for one good, it depends on income. So it could be negative, it could be positive. Positive, it means that good X is normal good, the good that they buy more when they have more income, the good that they buy less when they have less income. This is normal goods. Good X become, if income elasticity become negative, it means that good X is inferior good. Inferior good, it means that buyer will buy X more when they have less income, or they will buy X less when they have more income. Okay. Okay, this is maybe I'm not talking about too much about luxury goods. A luxury is an item that consumers do not have to have. Luxury goods, consumers don't need to have. Do not have to have. They don't need to have. Okay. Normally, these are the high-priced items that confer status to the buyers. For example, we're talking about car. Luxury car is mean the latest version car. The price too high. So in order to travel from one place to place, from province to province, from city to city, you don't need to buy a luxury car. It's just a simple car. Okay, it's fine. But if you own luxury car, this luxury car can show your status. You are rich. You are higher income. Okay. These are also normally items with a higher income elasticity. That's why for luxury car, income elasticity must be elastic. So when talking about income elasticity, must be bigger than 1, higher income elastic. Okay, you can do exercise by your own. I'm not reading for you. Maybe spend for you to read. Okay, so I hope that you can find the solution for this, or you can find answer for this question. Okay, demand side is already ended. Now we go to supply side. Yes. Maybe I'm not talking too much because it's similar to demand, but this is just supply. Price elasticity of supply for product is percentage change. Yes, percentage change of quantity supply divided by response to 1% change. Percentage change to 1% change in price of that product. Okay, so when the price of one product change by 1%, how many percent that supplier change their supply or change their sale? Okay, so this is price elasticity of supply. Formula: percentage change quantity supply divided by percentage change in price. This is when we have information in terms of change from one price to the other price. Okay, we have change here from price 1 to price 2. But on the graph, we don't have price 1, we don't have price 2. We have only one point. That's why in order to find price elasticity of supply at this point, we use this formula. And how to find slope? Yes, we already done from previous video. Okay. So I'm not talking too much because similar the way calculation is it's the same thing as we did in demand side, but in this case, in terms of price elasticity of supply, this is always positive. Negative, wrong. Negative, wrong. Is always positive because based on the property of supply curve, chain Q, chain P go the same direction. However, price elasticity of demand must be negative. If you find it positive, wrong. Wrong if you find if you found the result of price elasticity of demand positive, it's wrong. Must be negative. For supply must be positive. Okay, so remember that one. This is a condition that you need to remember. If supply curve have positive intercept, again positive intercept. What is intercept? Intercept point is the point that the curve interact with price. That's why this point. Positive? Yes, positive. Positive. If the supply curve have positive intercept, price elasticity of supply decrease as the quantity increase. Okay, so when the quantity increase, price elasticity of supply will be decreased. Maybe change from elastic to inelastic, because decrease change from elastic to inelastic. That's why when the quantity is going up, the epsilon becomes less and less and less. Okay, this one you can see this one. Point A, point B. Point A, point B here. So point A, when we're talking about price elasticity of supply at point A equal to 2. But we're talking about point B, higher than A, bigger amount than A. Price elasticity of supply is only 1.7. Okay, so this is the example. This is only the demand, only supply curve have positive intercept. Okay, have positive intercept. However, if your supply curve start from origin point, 0 point, or we call 0 intercept, price elasticity of supply always go to 1. In case both price and quantity change are always the same proportion. Okay, equal to 1. Why? Because change in quantity, change in price, the same proportion. The same proportion we can divide it by it equal to 1, always equal to 1. Okay. If the price change by 10%, for example, quantity also change by 10%. That's why 10% divided by 10% is 1. If the price change by 2%, quantity also change by 2% is equal to 1. Okay, This is only 0 cent. You get this one. 1A, 1A, 1B is always equal to 1. 1, okay, equal to 1. Okay, in general, a linear supply curve, that means a line supply curve. Okay, supply curve should be like this one. A line supply curve, or a line supply curve, or a line supply curve like this one. The price elasticity of supply will always equal to 1 at any point along straight line supply curve that pass through origin point. Origin point. What does it mean, origin point? This one is origin point. Pass through origin point. If supply curve intersects vertical axis, it will be always elastic but not constant. Okay, if supply intersect cross vertical point, it will be somewhere elastic but not constant. If the price intersects horizontal, okay, maybe I draw you the graph. The first condition, it should be like this one. The second condition, it should be like, maybe the second condition, for example, I choose the other color. Maybe this one, or maybe that one. Across with vertical. However, if you have the other one, across with horizontal, like this one, this is across with horizontal, it will be everywhere inelastic but not constant. Okay, so if supply curve across vertical, this is vertical, somewhere, everywhere must be elastic. But if supply curve across horizontal or x-axis, everywhere must be inelastic but not constant. Constant is only across 0 or origin point. This is a condition that you need to remember, that we call general condition. Okay, this is the other exercise that you need to do for the supply curve shown in figure above. Where is figure above? This one? Yes. Calculate the price elasticity at P equal to 6. Where P equal to 6? Maybe this one. Okay, P equal to 6. Let's say this one, P equal to 6. If P equal to 6, what is Q? We need to find Q. How to find Q? Maybe I could put C here. How to find QC? This is QA, QB. How to find QC? Because we know PC is 6. If you cannot find QC, you cannot answer this question. That's why you need to find QC. Okay, maybe some of you still remember how to find QC if you know price. Okay, so let you to do this. Perfectly inelastic and perfectly elastic. So in special cases, we have supply curve as vertical line like this one, or horizontal line like this one. If we have supply curve special case vertical line is 1, this is 0 price elasticity of supply. Why is it 0? Because chain Q equal to say 0. That's right, 0 over chain P equal to 0. But this one we call infinity. Okay, infinity. Why is it infinity? Because chain P equal to 0. So chain Q any number but divided by 0 is infinity. Okay, is infinity. That's why this is also special condition or special cases like demand curve. Demand curve also has this shape, also has this shape. Okay, what factors that make supply elasticity or price elasticity supply become more elastic or inelastic? There are it should be 4 points, but actually not really 4 points. Input, input, input. Only two. See, there are two factors that make our price elasticity or supply become more elastic or less elastic or inelastic. One is input, the other one is time. But in terms of input, we have three conditions of inputs. One, flexibilities are inputs. Flexibilities are input. Because we're talking about supply, we're talking about input for production. In order to get product to supply, we need to get input. Okay, so input. It is relatively easy to find or to get extra input away from their current use, make supply of that good relatively elastic. If you can find easily extra input, that's why you can change inputs easily. If you can change input easily, you can change output easily. If you can change output easily, that means you can supply more or less easily. So in this case, supply elastic supply tend to be more elastic. More elastic, it means that epsilon, or we don't need to use epsilon bigger than 1. This is flexible. Is it easy to get extra input for our production? But this one, is it easy to transport, to move? This is flexible, this is mobility. Mobility, that means transport or moving. Is it easy, is it relatively easy to transport inputs from one location to the other location that will enable our user to take or to someone or take input from the other markets? If it is easy to transport input from the other production side to our production side, that's why in this case our price elasticity of supply will be elastic. Okay, easy, but it's not easy. It's not really easy. It's not really easy. That means less than 1. It's not really easy. It's less than 1. Easy is more than 1. This is not easy. Okay, not easy. Less than 1. For most goods, the price elasticity of supply increases each time new highway is built, or when the telecommunication network improves, or indeed when any other development makes easy to find and transport input from place to place. Okay, highway build, or maybe airport build, or maybe a seaport build, train station build, or railway build. So transportation will be easy. Okay, this is in terms of flexibility or input and mobility or input. The other one, substitute input, ability to produce substitute inputs. Is it easy to substitute some input by the other inputs that enable user to use more efficient input? If it is easy, again, if it is easy, epsilon will be bigger than 1. It's not easy. This is easy, but it's not. Epsilon will be lower than 1. Okay, it's easy. You can change easily. You can substitute very easily. That's why output will be increasing too much or decreasing too much. That's why this is more elastic. But it's not easily. Okay, this is not easy. This is less elastic or inelastic. The other one is time. The price elasticity of supply will be higher for most goods in long run rather than in short run. This is the same thing as demand. In long run, tend to be changed faster, changed by bigger amount. but in short run they change, but change tend to be less, very less. That's why price elasticity of demand and the price elasticity of supply in long run tend to be elastic, but in short run tend to be inelastic. This is because of opening business. It takes time for business people to build high or buy factors of production or inputs in a short run. But in the long run, business are more easily to acquire this input. That's why in short run, it's not easy to build factories, to employ workers, or to buy factors of production. But in long run, it's long enough for us to change. That's why in long run, price elasticity of demand or price elasticity of supply will be elastic. But in long run, will be inelastic. Okay, it should be the end midpoint. Okay, midpoint. Maybe you can study midpoint by through your textbook. Midpoint is about what? Maybe you still remember. Okay, I just write for you. In order to find epsilon, price elasticity or demand, or price elasticity or supply, gross price or income. Okay, normally the formula change should be I write this one, not that one. Okay. In order to find elasticity, we need to use this one. The change in percentage of quantity demand or quantity supply, it depends on. So demand or supply depends on you. Percentage change in price X or price Y or income, it depends on you study. But I'm not taking all of them together, just take one. If you understood this one, you can apply for the other. Okay, let's say only demand, only X. Okay, that's why this is gross price elasticity demand for good X. If you change it to S, this is gross price elasticity demand for gross price elasticity supply of good X. So it should be equal to what? Equal to, maybe I change this one. Okay, change, this should be change. Okay, I may say use this one, extend to other one. The change in QD divided by change in Q. The change in PX divided by, this is also X but not same, P. Okay, this is a percentage change. This is percentage change of Q. This is percentage change of rice. So I use the other color. How to find change? Change, sorry, Q ending minus Q beginning divided by Q. If Q ending, this P also ending. This Q beginning, this P also beginning divided by P. Okay, because in this case we're talking about midpoint formula. That's why we divide it by midpoint Q and midpoint M. Okay, midpoint Q, midpoint M. But if talking about not midpoint, normally talking about beginning point. If the formula asking about beginning point, divided by Q beginning, P is also beginning. But the formula not asking about midpoint and not about beginning, but talking about new price or ending point or new point. Ending point or new point divided by QE, this is also PE. Okay, so the formula in this case. But how to find midpoint? M comes from beginning plus ending divided by 2. So this is beginning plus ending divided by 2. This is beginning plus ending divided by 2. Okay, so I'm not cover this one. I stop by this slide. But however, I have the other slide. It's this one. This midpoint, this midpoint. Okay, maybe I'm not talking, just show you. You can read by your own. You can pause this movie to see. I just maybe not stop this movie for a while. Here just you can see. Okay, midpoint. Okay, this is midpoint. How to find? You can see. This is midpoint as well. Okay, this is practice. If the price of product A increase from $80 to $100, the quantity demanded for product A will increase from 1,200 to 1,000 units. What is the price elasticity or demand for good A? Okay, look at this one. What is the price elasticity demand for good A? The question not mentioned about at beginning price, at new price, or at midpoint price. So the question not mentioned. If the question not mentioned about new price, beginning price, or midpoint price, we must use midpoint price. Okay, middle price or midpoint price. So if the question not asking at beginning price or not at new price, we must use midpoint price. Why we decide to use midpoint price, not beginning price, not ending price? Because in order to get midpoint price, you need to get beginning price plus ending price divided by 2. Okay. In order to get beginning price, you need to get middle price or midpoint price, you need to get beginning price plus ending price divided by 2. If you use midpoint price, you need to use midpoint quantity as well, and do the same way in order to find midpoint quantity. Okay, be clear. If the market price of burger falls from $12 to $10, the quantity demanded for burger will be up from 1,450 to 2,000 units. What is the price elasticity of demand for burger with respect to original price of burger, new price of burger, midpoint price of burger? Okay, in this example, in this exercise, it is given to you at what price, but this one not mentioned at what price. If not mentioned at what price, you need to take midpoint price. Okay, this is gross price. If the price of product X increases from $10 to $12, the quantity demanded for gasoline Y, gasoline X, that's why product X is gasoline, will fall from 100 to 82, and the quantity demanded for product Y also fall from 90 to 63, but the quantity demanded for product Z will increase from 50 to 76. I have 3 questions. What is price elasticity demand for good X? No mention about beginning, ending, new price. Okay, just U price. Oh, sorry, use middle price. Gross price. What is gross price elasticity or demand for product Y? Demand for product Y with respect to price X. What are X and Y? What are the natures of X and Y? The natures of product X and product Y, it depends on this sign. It depends on the sign of gross price elasticity or demand for product Y with respect to price X, positive sign or negative sign. Same thing as here, gross price elasticity or demand for product Z with respect to price X. Okay, This is about income. So you need to use by your own. Okay, movie you can pause, you can stop for a while, you can do it, and you can continue it. So I'm not reading this for this one for you. This is the other one. Supply. This is our demand. So ending our demand, we go to supply. Okay, this is about graph. You see graph. Based on the graph, what is price elasticity of demand at point A? Only 1 point. Only 1 point. You need to use the formula from 1 point. Supply of this is demand for point A because A is on demand side, demand curve. M is on supply curve. E on demand curve, and also E on supply curve. So you have four answer for this one because there are 4 questions for you this one as well. Okay, these are the questions to review. If you can answer these questions without watching movie, without reading textbook again, during answer no watching, during answer no reading textbook, and you can answer this question by using your own understanding, your own memory. That's why you got the point from this textbook, from the content. Okay, now come to the end of this chapter. Okay, chapter 3 is ending.